Hello and welcome again to this Come to Jesus Daily Devotional. I trust you are well. Today we continue in the Gospel of Luke, considering who Jesus is. And this week we're looking at Jesus' temptation in the wilderness, how he overcomes Satan by using the word as a weapon, what this means for us. And today's devotional is entitled, Jesus is tempted to test God. Let's read from Luke 4, 9-12. The devil led him to Jerusalem and had him stand on the highest point of the temple. "If you are the Son of God," he said, "throw yourself down from here, for it is written, he will command his angels concerning you to guard you carefully. They will lift you up in their hands so that you will not strike your foot against a stone." Jesus answered, "It is written, do not put the Lord your God to the test." What's the main idea today? We must resist the temptation to test God, to base our worship and trust on how well God is meeting our expectations. Jesus was tempted to test God. By test, we mean being tempted to only believe God and his word if he will do something for us to prove it. Satan is tempting Jesus to test the Father by forcing him to prove his love and prove his word through a miracle. In essence, we could say that Satan is seeking to tempt Jesus to sin by doubting God. Satan does the same to us. We might, for example, if we're tired of waiting and if we're discouraged, say something like, "If you love me, do this," or "Prove that you are real by doing this." All such behaviour, whilst forgivable and understandable, reveals the sin of unbelief. If we love the Bible, Satan will do all he can to make us misuse and misbelieve the Bible. For example, this promise of Psalm 91, 11-12 that Satan uses does not teach us to live like we are in some sort of Mission Impossible film and to become reckless or prayerless, because God will command his angels concerning us. He will not allow me to be injured. Now that's to use the word of God in the wrong way. He promises his protection, of course, but as we seek to serve him, not to show off in some way. Jesus refuses Satan's suggestion by quoting Deuteronomy 6:16, which warns us against following the example of Israel at Massah in the wilderness, where they complained about their lack of water. We read in Exodus 17:3, "But the people were thirsty for water there. They grumbled against Moses. They said, 'Why did you bring us up out of Egypt to make us and our children and our livestock die of thirst?'" Unlike Israel, Jesus will not fall by testing and doubting God's love in his moment of trial. In response, we must resist the temptation to test God, to base our worship, our love, our trust on him, on how he is meeting our expectations. Satan wants us to doubt God. He wants us to base our love and worship upon what he does for us. He tempts us to base our worship on whether or not God heals us when we ask him to, provides when we ask him to, saves when we ask him to. Indeed, saves us if we throw ourselves off a cliff, as Jesus was being tempted to. Like Christ, we must refuse to test God's love. God, in his holiness, is beyond testing. But we are to test our own worship and ensure that it's given to God freely and not as something for which we expect him to repay us. God bless you.